Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, a very warm welcome to yourselves. I hope that you will consider supporting me by subscribing to my channel. And today I have with me Sasha Davina. You are very welcome.
Thank you, and thank you very much for my lunch. It was very delicious.
Oh, you're welcome. And don't forget the expensive red wine.
From Uncle Andrew, thank you.
Actually, your Uncle Andrew gave it to me, so it's me that's sharing it.
Yeah, but you don't drink red wine.
Cheeky. Anyway, today in this video, we're going to be talking about police brutality involving young Black boys and girls. Now, whenever we think about police brutality, we immediately turn our attention to the US, but the UK is not all that innocent. There are too many incidents lately of police brutality and adultification of young Black boys and girls. These are rarely reported in mainstream media, and if they are, then it's just a mention, but they're never fully reported on. Now, recently I was scrolling down Instagram, and I just happened to be on the Voice newspaper, and I saw that they had reported the case of a young 16-year-old schoolgirl who had been arrested by a school patrols officer. I think his name was PC Bamber. And she had to attend hospital because she had bruised wrists. Now, when I asked you about this case, you knew nothing about it. You had no clue, but neither did I until I went onto the Voice newspaper page. And that's how I found out about it. So I had to tell Sasha Davina about this case, and I'm sure many of you probably don't know either. So it was reported that on the 27th of April, a 16-year-old Black girl was taken to hospital with bruised wrists, having been cuffed by PC Bamber and bundled into an empty shop on Stockwell High Street for the purposes of being searched. Now, the story goes that PC Bamber saw a group of school children trying to open the shutters of a shop that had been vacant for maybe about 2 or 3 years. So it's just kids like...
Being kids?
Yeah, just mucking about basically. He approached them, spoke to them, and the kids started to walk away. But he then pulled this girl out of the group and handcuffed her. And her friends were screaming, saying, "Let her go, let her go." She doesn't have the keys, you know, but I think he felt threatened maybe, and he pulled the girl away. He called for backup. And guess how many cars attended? 14 cars and vans attended the scene, including armed unit. And this is all for a 16-year-old girl in uniform, in her, still wearing her hijab as well. Now, how many 16-year-old girls in school uniform, you know, in hijabs,
Pose that much of a threat?
Pose that much of a threat? 60 police officers in total attended this incident. Later on, the girl was released with no further action. But why would you send so many police officers to attend an incident of this manner?
Well, what did the PC say when he called for backup? I mean,
we don't know. It's not reported.
He can't possibly have told the truth. Otherwise, I'm sure the reaction would not have been like that.
So extreme.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me.
Or could it be to humiliate her, to intimidate her, to keep her in check, to let her know what her place is? What other logical sense would there be to send so many police officers? And this was during Ramadan. She's fasting, and this is just before her GCSEs exams as well. And this young girl has been left traumatized, feeling victimized. And the police obviously apologized, their usual empty apologies. We're going to need more training. Who needs more training to treat another human being with common decency?
Also, children need to be treated, they need to be protected, even if they're acting up or they're in trouble and they need to be disciplined. It needs to be done in a very, very different way
and a very sensitive manner, especially a young
girl with a male officer.
With a male officer.
Pushed into a shop alone.
Exactly.
They're not allowed to do searches without
and this
supervision.
Apparently he's quite bulky, and this is a little school girl.
And he mentioned as well that her hijab was falling off.
Yes, her hijab was falling off.
That's also a problem. I don't like some girls wear hijabs all the time. Some don't wear hijabs unless they're fasting, but for that to happen, actually, it's maybe to us, we don't understand how serious that is. But actually, for her religion, for her culture, for her personally, having her hair shown in front of all these people, I'm assuming most of the officers were men. That is.
And not only the officers,
passers-by.
The public, passers-by, people who are standing watching this unfold.
Imagine if people are taking pictures. Pictures of her with her hair out. That's not cool.
So I just wanted to ask you, why do you think you didn't know about this case? Why do you think I didn't know about this case? Why did I have to go to the Voice newspaper to find out? Why was it not in mainstream media?
Well, because the uproar isn't the same, though, is it? It's not. The stories that they highlight stories that kind of the everyday average English person will look at and identify, like, oh goodness, that could have been me, that could have been my brother, that could have been my child. And for this girl, it's not the target audience, therefore the mainstream media don't really push it. If they do talk about it, they glance over, oh yeah, this happened in South London on this day. Yeah. And that's the end of it.
Exactly. So there's not enough national outrage.
Unless it's kind of like with the Voice newspaper, it's black specific, right? So they focus on stories and they tell us about the stories that we can't find anywhere else. And I didn't know about the Voice newspaper until you told me. So as soon as you told me, I went to follow them on Facebook and Instagram. But otherwise, unless you're following these specific outlets,
you're not going to know.
So what I follow a few kind of black specific news outlets, but they're mostly US based.
Okay.
So they're things that I find out about kind of in the US that we wouldn't find about in mainstream media. But actually this has highlighted to me that I actually do need to focus more on what's happening
right on our doorstep,
because I have a 16-year-old sister and this could be her.
Yeah, exactly. It could be any of our children. Yeah.
I forget my 16-year-old sister is your child.
Exactly.
But yeah, so actually
this could happen to any of our children. Yeah. And I wonder if this PC Bamber has a 16-year-old daughter and how he would feel were she to be treated
that way,
in that manner, But perhaps he doesn't have to worry about that because it would never happen. Her whiteness would ensure that she is treated with respect and dignity and investigated as a child and not as a grown-up. Yeah. So there's a lot of talk at the moment about adultification of young black boys and girls in the UK. I get very emotional when I cover, stories like this, because like you said, you have a 16-year-old sister, I have a 16-year-old child.
Same person.
Yes, same person. We have,
nieces, cousins,
nephews. And it is very frightening. It is very frightening to constantly live, this fear, of encountering racist police officers. Yeah. It is a real fear. Yeah. So anyway, that's it for today. I just wanted to highlight this story because I was so sure that if I didn't know about it, Sasha Davina didn't know about it, there's probably so many of you out there that didn't know about it. So this happened in Stockwell, London on the 27th of April. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening. And we look forward to your comments in the comment section below. And we will see you next time. Or rather, I will see you next time. Bye.